Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about lawfare again and how this could impact you as a prepper. And we're going to talk about preventive and active measurements. And the reason why I make this video is because I've become a victim of lawfare, and I'm going to tell you the lessons that I learned from it now. So, before we start, if you're interested in detective stories, there will be a link to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch. If you're interested, take a look, I would say. Alright, lawfare. The thing is, as a prepper, you can be the most God fearing, law abiding citizen, do everything right, and yet the law can come after you because somebody is misusing it against you. Whether it's politicians, whether it's someone who works for the government, whether it's somebody who is just a criminal or a jerk and they bend the law to use it against you. So, what happened is I got a sort of fine from public transport. And yeah, the fine was said that the conductor of the train or bus held me back because I did not have a valid ticket to go on that public transport, and they only caught my name. But the problem is, I never went with the train or the bus or any public transportation at the exact time they set in the fine. So all those things were not right. I could not have done it. Somebody else used my name to do this. And yeah, the problem is, what can you do? All the It's not like you're only guilty until proven, because the proof is in the fine given by somebody who worked at the public transport, and it went through all the bureaucracy and the paperwork. So now, because there is, by law, there is evidence, I must prove my innocence. Otherwise, I will have to pay a fine of 107 euros, which is a lot. So, we're going to talk about the things that you can do, but to be honest, I was very furious. But luckily, I kept my head cool, which is the first step you need to do. You got to fight back in a way, but there are rules to it. It's because lawfare, it's not like warfare, because in warfare there are no rules, and that's the way to be a master in the art of war. With lawfare, you have to play by the rules of the system. The lawfare is the system, and you have to fight it that way. Because otherwise, if you don't own fight it in that way, which makes it more difficult and unfair, but they will send police and everything. There will be more evidence against you, and you will get into more problems. So to start off, I got a fine by somebody who pretended to be me, and I have to disprove it. So I would say, if you ever in this kind of situation, whether it's a fine, whether it's something that you get dragged to court for a crime that you didn't do, first thing I would always say is try to stay how do you say this, level-headed. Uh, Try to, you know what? Let's start with prevention. Perhaps that's perhaps a better thing to start. Very professional of me. So I would say, first of all, don't do crime. Obviously, if you do a crime and you get caught, you got to pay for the consequences of your actions. You know what you were doing. But if you're going to do crime, because there are certain crimes that are like white lies, you do them because the law or the rules in that thing that you're going to commit a crime in does not make any sense, and it's only for an unfair system that just wants to get more money out of you, or it's from a monopoly or something like that. So yeah, so don't do crime. And if you're going to do something criminal, stay small so it will not be detected in a grand on the higher levels. So stay small, don't get greedy, and if you're going to do a crime, do a non-violent crime. Because the moment you do a violent crime, I don't have any mercy for you. Uh, Second, don't hand out information to people. And this could be in many ways. For example, I went to a store, and at the stores, there are usually some people from a charity for that will ask for money, or if you want to contribute to the case. In this case, it was something about kids who are being neglected psychologically and also don't get sandwiches or any food with them to school because their family are too poor or too abusive, and they would. That's a charity that was helping those situations. But charity used to be like, oh, you want to donate? No, fine, I got a few nickels. Here you go, no problem. But now they always, and I hate this, to all people who want to do charity, I know these are systems in place, so people wouldn't take any of the nickels, put them back and go to a bar to get a few free drinks. If you are going to ask for charity, don't ask people for their personal information. Don't ask them to donate money through the internet or through their phone, because that's also stealing some information, in my opinion. And people will be less likely. So don't do that stuff. And this is what I mean. Don't give out information to nobody. These people, they were looking at me like I was a scumbag, because for the moment they got, I said, well, I want to help something. And they got their phones out and they said, put your information here. I was like, no, we're not going to do that. And they gave me the face like I was the one who was going to rape those children. So don't do that shit. So don't give information to anybody. Whether it's a guy who takes on the street who takes a poll, whether it's one of those what are they Instagrammers who do fun interviews on the street, don't give them your personal information. Whether it's even if it's a police or somebody who works for the government, and they say without any identification, they say, give me your information, and you're like, fuck you. First, prove that you're really in business, that you're really working the thing that you say. So even to official personnel, don't give out your information, just the bare minimal. Just say, this is my name, all the rest you don't need to know. And especially never give your information to somebody through the phone, because you don't know who this guy is. Never give personal information, bank account numbers. Even if they say you want a prize, don't give out any information. Don't fucking do it. Guard it like the crown jewels, I would say. So, yeah. And also, if you're going to give information, for example, you have to get some sort of service, or you want to buy something, and they don't. I find it. I know it's hard these times, but don't just do it through the internet, and don't do it through the phone. And if you're going to give information to somebody, give it to somebody that you either know or you can punch. That if they're going to screw you over, you know where they are, and they will know they can come back and they can kick my ass if they are really. Don't kick their ass, by the way, which is a later point that I'm going to say. But you have to have that social contract of, if you're going to screw me over, I might be a maniac. I could be a psychopath, and I could come back with hell and fire and that kind of glory. So that's a social contract between two humans that we always had to stand to give some stance to the trust. If you break the trust, something will be broken by you. I know this is hard, and it is not how we work in a modern society, but we need that fear to say, don't fuck me over or there will be consequences. Because those people that I talked about that will use the law against you, those are the guys who abuse the law in their way, because they know they can fuck you over, but they know that by law you cannot kick their ass. And those are the really scumbag people. Those are people who think they are protected, and they can fuck you over. So I hate, these are the people that I really hate. The Karens with authority, so to say. So, where were we? Because have a list here that I don't want to skip anything over. So, alright, like I said, don't talk to people through the phone. If you're at public with somebody, don't get distracted. You know, there are these kind of people, those people who get real close to you. They might be pickpocketers, they might be scanning for something. Perhaps they want to know, to see perhaps a dog tag that you have, a tattoo. Perhaps you got some papers with you that you can read something of it. Don't let people come too close to you that you don't know on the street or in public, because these might be the sort of people who can get so much information from you from the smallest things that you left off on your body, or they can look for a wallet, weaknesses, that kind of stuff. Also at the door, if somebody comes knocking at your door and they might be claiming that they are from the gas company, electrical company, public official, perhaps from a charity or a poll, people who take polls, they might want to distract you so their body can go through the back and distract you that way. So always be aware of this. Excuse me. Even if, and don't let those fuckers in. Also another thing, and especially if they don't have evidence and they claim they are from the gas company, call the gas company to verify that they are actually these guys, because it happens so much. But I'm getting off course a little bit. All right. If you whatever you do, know that you have an alibi. Whether you are home, whether you're going somewhere, whether you pass through something, always be aware that you have an alibi. We're talking about public cameras that you know, I went on that day over there, and yeah, I noticed those cameras, I'm on camera there, and so I cannot have been on that train getting a ticket like they would claim in the ticket. So that's already one alibi for me. I know it will be a hassle to get those information and those footages, but also, if you have a camera at home, have a home camera and make sure that if you're going to leave, that you are being filmed. Don't sneak out through the back or something like that. Know that if you leave somewhere and you come home, they know, I got home at that time, I left my home at that time, so I could not have committed the crime. This is my alibi. That's very important. And if you don't have cameras, make sure that you don't delete too much in the first 3 months after you've done something on your phone, the internet, your search history, because if they say, where were you? I was at home. What were you doing? I was masturbating to some porn. Can you prove that? Well, if you don't use incognito modus, or you have not swiped your history, you have now 3 months of proof that you wanked you were wanking off at the day that they claim that you were somewhere else doing a crime. So those are very small things, but these things could help you, give you an alibi. Of course, witnesses could also be very important. Friends that you had seeing you, people that perhaps some public figures that could describe you, is what I'm trying to say. So those are all very important as preventive measurements. Another thing is, don't become too big of a public face. What do I mean by that? If you're going to be famous, there are more people who are going to perhaps try to do something to you. Perhaps they know you have money, perhaps they know they have influence over you, perhaps they are just trolls who just want some attention from famous people. So don't get too big in public, and also don't give too much information that is publicly available. Like I said, don't give out too much information, because even if you are the nicest person in the world, people who are trolls or your enemies because, I don't know, you bullied them when you were a high school kid or whatever, or now their girlfriend is with you and their ex is angry at you now because your girlfriend, this is now your girlfriend, for example. So yeah, the more information they can get to you, the more they can fuck you over, is what I'm trying to say. So don't get, like I said, don't give out too much information. Try to stay low. And if you stay low and you know that certain information is only available to certain amounts of people or places, you know where to find these jerks, these assholes. All right. So if you're being actively being pursued in this art of lawfare, the first thing you have to do is stay calm. My first reaction was I was furious. Luckily, I'm a rather a calm person, so the many people who get injustice, but blatant injustice like I had now, they would go violent. They would directly take the phone and go like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Swearing, but that, like I'm going to say a few things later, that will never help and will even hurt your case. So stay calm, don't get violent, very important, because the moment you get confrontational, violent, that could be used against you, and you don't want that. Stay calm, the art of war, let the enemy come closer to you, so you can hug them and then stab them in the back, I would say. So after you stay calm, after you stay calm, gather evidence and use it strategic. What do I mean by that? Gather evidence, like I said before, the home camera. You can use the home cameras. You can you keep the papers, because some people would go like, I'm not going to pay for this, or they throw it into a fire, or they just throw it away in anger. Don't do that. Keep the papers. Keep the evidence. Don't swap your history on your phone or your laptop. All this kind of stuff, and call people that. Do you know? You remember that I was there? Yeah, yeah. All right. Then you got a witness for that. Um, like I said, gather evidence and be strategic. For example, when I was how to say this, contacting the public transport about my case, that I was not there, and here are the reasons. I gave all the reasons why I was not there. I gave my evidence, but I saw in the evidence that they gave that I was there, they only had my name. Usually, when somebody of the public transport going to find someone, they have to take your identity, compare it, and then use that information to give out the fine. So they had my name, but they had no other information. But I did not let them know that yet. I just said, these are all the reasons I could not have done this. But if I would say, because my name, so when you only have my name, and this part of my passport is not, because you should have written over there, and they can use that information. Oh, we didn't? Oh, look at that, it's in our system, so yeah, you're at fault. So don't give out too much information. That's what I mean by being strategic. Give much enough to be a headache, but don't give much enough that they can throw it back at you. It's like throwing shit at someone. If you throw shit at someone a little bit, it will stick to them, and if you throw too much shit of it, they can take it off and throw it back. Is uh, perhaps a weird analogy, but I'm in that kind of mood today. So yeah, next thing I would say is go through the right sources first. The art of lawfare is you have to do everything by the book. So I went to the complaint through the bureaucracy of the complainant department of the public transport. Because if I waited too long, it would have been invalid, because ooh, if you have a complaint, why did you wait so long? So take swift action to the right channels, wait their response, and if they wait too long for their response, it's on their fault, and it can be their claim could be denied then. So that's another part of the lawfare. Um, so they sent me another letter back, and they said, we have the evidence here, and the email it doesn't check. It's because somebody could use my name through the internet, that they could buy a ticket that was not valid or something. It was a whole weird situation. So it's their fault that they allow a system that somebody else could do identity fraud in that way. So holy shit, it would be on their fault. But I know I cannot win it on that claim. And you know why? Because I talked to my lawyer to this. If they are going to If you're going to fight this in court, they have all the resources to drag it out, and even if I win, they only pay out a certain amount without special circumstances. So that in that way I would not win. But if I want to, I could really drag it out till they want to stop with it. Uh, all right. So, and also they said go to the police. So I go to the police. I say this happened, identity fraud, and yeah, now I have to take a picture of it, send it to the complaint department, and they will seponate my. They will stop the fine because now I have evidence, and I also have to write a letter on my word of honor that I was at this place on the time that the fine was issued. Uh, so yeah, I have to go through all this bureaucracy just because some asshole made a false email and used my name because of it. So yeah, the police will investigate, will try to investigate in top of it, and this will come later. But if they find the guy who did this, I will have no mercy for him. I will use the same law against him to make sure that he will never do that. But that's a point for later on. Uh, Act swift and calculated. Like I said before, don't wait too long if you have complaints. Don't go directly unprepared, just swift and calculated. Just like squeezing a trigger of a gun. Aim small, pull small, and you will hit your target. If you do it too fast, you will miss because you went too fast. If you do it too slow, the target can already be run away and it will be too late. Yeah, my analogies are perhaps a little bit off the rack right now, but that's why in the mood I am right now. Another thing is be reasonable, and this will not sound like I said before, like have no mercy, but that is the part that will come after this. But be reasonable. If you are going to use lawfare on someone, you either have to do it the easy way or the hard way, like the booty warrior. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Sorry, I could not resist. Look it up, booty warrior. It's very, very funny meme. All right, where was I? Oh, goddamn booty warrior. All right, you got to give them a way out. And what do I mean by way out? You can say, look, you done this, and we can either drag it out in court, or we can do it the easy way. You pay me a reasonable amount, and we will either forget it or we will settle it in court for a reasonable, and that is the easy way out. The hard way, if they are being stubborn, you can say, you want to do it the hard way? We can keep dragging this out. I will steal your time. I will steal more of your time, your money. Even if I lose, you will lose. You will get a piece of your skin if you keep going with this. And that is what I mean. If you say, I want to sue for everything he's got, he's going to fight to tooth and nails till the end. It's like the art of war. If you fight an enemy and you corner him, they will fight to the death. If you give them an escape route, a portion of the enemy will try to escape through there, and there you can get them. So yeah, be reasonable is what I'm trying to say. It's better to get a medium price than to get a big price with a chance that you will not get a big price, is what I'm trying to say. So another thing, always gather more evidence than the police would usually do. I know how the police works, and yeah, these guys, I know that they want. We all know this kind of police man or women, or what is the? No, never mind. Uh, they want to fight crime, but they only get this amount of time, this amount of resources, this amount of manpower, this amount of priority, because they get cases every day. So if you're going to go to the police with a complaint like with my identity fraud, I give them all the information I can get. Even if I have to get out of my way to get more information, I know that the more that I help the police, the more priority it will get, because the more evidence, the more chance that a case will get through, and the more chance that it will get solved. because I recently had a problem that somebody drove against my house. He got away. Cameras didn't pick them up. All this kind of stuff, and it was just all a case for the insurance. But the police could not find them because they could not find the guys of the camera where he passed through of my neighbor. And so yeah, see what I mean by this, and always give them more evidence. And last thing I would say is have no mercy. That is not, like I said before, like go easy them, give them the hard way. I'm talking about bureaucracy. With bureaucracy, they can give in or they can drag it out. But if you 100% know you can win, that they don't have a case, you have all the evidence, you know who it is, you know he's guilty, it can be proven he's guilty, the law acknowledges that you're right and he's wrong, have no mercy. Somebody who fucked you over, they either will do it again, whether it's you or somebody else in the future. Uh, I have no mercy for them. Make sure they will never fuck with you ever again. The moment the police will know who this guy is and they will say, "Will you press charges?" I will, I shall, and I will bring down the hammer of Thor to him. Uh, Whether even if it's just to pay for my time that I invested in this, I want this guy to pay that they cannot get away because of it. Because, and it is a reality of shit hit the fan, I would say. We live in a society where lawfare is possible. There is due process, and that is very good because in the medieval time, I would perhaps would have grabbed a flaming hot red poker to prove my innocence through divine, how do you say this, divine trial, or how they call it back then. But yeah, if you can, and if you can fuck if somebody fucks you, make sure you fuck them back as much as possible, that they will never do it again, and that they will not do it to somebody else in the future, because now they know, so many people I do this shit to, they will probably never complain, they will make procedure mistakes and it will not go to court or this and that, or they don't put the time in it because of all the bureaucracy. I know they will let me off. And yeah, we cannot allow this. These kind of persons need to be punished, whether it's stealing, fraud, murder, this kind of stuff, because this is what prevents of us, and every prepper know this. This prevents us from situations like in the favelas. This is mob to prevent mob justice, family feuds, all that kind of stuff, or just honor killings. All that kind of stuff is being prevented by this system. But we need to act hard against the people who abuse the system, because they know the average Joe. I'm just an idiot. I'm the kind of person I can take a lot, because I know if somebody fucks me over, I'm able enough to beat the shit out of them or go even worse. But through bureaucracy, I'm very bad at it. I need some help, like I said, from a lawyer to get through all of this. But there is a harder way to fight, because you're bounded to rules, and real warfare does not have rules. So yeah, I hope this video has helped you a little bit, and that you learned from the situation, the incident that happened to me. And yeah, I know it perhaps I make it sound a little bit more dramatic perhaps than it should be, but this is just a small way this could happen. Imagine if it's a big way. How many people who get falsely accused of rape, uh, children diddling, that they were totally innocent, that they and their lives got ruined, or that they got framed for stealing at work or that kind of stuff, and they got fired. All these things could happen to you. It could ruin your life, and 20 years later, after you did so many jail time, you are free because the evidence is now against you, or somebody testified in your favor and the case got dismissed or something. But yeah, it could ruin somebody's life if we let this kind of people take abuse of the law. The law is here to protect, and the people who, I find it, the people who break the law, punish them. Uh, but the people who use the law to fuck someone over, that's, in my opinion, that's a little bit more weaselly, sneaky, a little bit more, because you break a trust in a system that is there to protect anyone else. And as a prepper, we all know without this system, that it will get ugly. Then we got situations like third world countries, favelas, wars, war scenarios where it's kill or be killed, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we don't want to go to those times, and that's why I say lawfare, punish those bastards. All right, I think I vented enough, and I hope you learned something from this. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers!